blurt out, this is how I feel, and this is what I want. And then the feminine kind of responds to that. I wouldn't say in a desperate way. I won't say in a desperate way, but she kind of tries to use that kind of sexual attraction. She kind of tries to go back here and think, oh, okay, you know, I need to chill out a bit. She kind of realizes, I need to chill out. I need to go back to this organic, emotional line of, you know, feeling just, um, how to describe. She just comes to him with a very earthly pleasure in an attempt to get back on his wavelength, which, started off with a lover's card, if that makes sense. She thinks, oh, let's just, when you have an argument with your partner and you guys just are like, oh, let's just have sex and make up. But I do feel like there's this kind of energy that she brings there, kind of from a anxiety standpoint. Again, from kind of that emotional instability. I don't mean to say that the feminine is unstable. I do feel more on the feminine side though that there is that instability in that way for her. Obviously, there's emotional instability for the masculine, just in him not really knowing how he feels is what I'm getting from that. So yeah, so she comes to him with that, and there's definitely, there's a lot of sexual energy, I think, between people. In the lover's card, I don't know if you can see, there's like a mountain, and that's a very phallic representation of the artwork. That's what people say. So yeah, that's maybe how you guys communicate in a good way. Maybe sex is just kind of something that the feminine feels it's gonna fix everything, and it doesn't always. But one thing that Agatha says a lot is that sex should not be disregarded in love, and I fully agree with her that sexual attraction is a great basis for any relationship to start. And she made the point of her last reading, which I watched. She made the point of saying that, it's great to love everyone and be able to love everyone and be in that light and that great place, but sex is what separates the line of loving and then being in love with someone. So that's worth remembering. If you do believe that sex could be a negative aspect, which it's not. So just remember that. Um, so yeah, here she comes to him with that kind of attitude. I feel there might be that kind of thing that happens, and then unfortunately, though, I feel like at this stage down the month, I just feel like the masculine comes into this energy. This is the Three of Pentacles here. You can see that it was reversed, just to mention. I feel like the masculine feels like no harmony can be reached at this point. Like the lack of teamwork that you need in a relationship is missing, and it's kind of gone. The feminine's kind of, been quite independent in her thought process, and she's just kind of been in her own way of how she thinks love is supposed to be, and then he's in his way of how he thinks love is supposed to be, and it's just become a little bit too much for him, and maybe he's just feeling like it just might be worth starting the endeavor on his own, because he doesn't feel like she has the same goals or maybe the same ideals about love as he does, what he wants right now for himself. And that, it becomes apparent to him, I feel, from that emotional instability on the feminine side. I do feel that there's more to be said about that for the feminine, as I did say. The masculine, I just feel, is just unsure of what he wants. There's a lot of uncertainty here for him. He knows that he loves the feminine, and he knows that he wants to see where it goes, but it's just the kind of, there's a little, I feel like there's just a pressure that's being put on by the feminine to the masculine, which is worth being careful about. Feminine. So he needs to just go away, come to the conclusion of what he really wants, and he may go away to build his own foundation for the time being. And the feminine response to this, with the Queen of Wands here, we have the Queen of Wands reversed. So she responds to that in, may I say, not a very regal way. In a kind of, I feel like she's fallen from grace here. There could be that rejection from the masculine this month, and the feminine, she's not going to like it. She's not. I mean, who would? Nobody likes to be rejected. But I feel like she loses all her confidence, and that kind of sexual fiery passion she brought. Understandably, that's something that is going to upset anybody if they strip themselves down. You know, like this branch is just has a few leaves on it. It's just very bare. It's very stripped down. It's indicative of, you know, from an emotional standpoint. You know, I'm giving you. I'm bare. I'm naked. As you know, Glorious Agatha made the point of saying, you know, I'm naked and you're naked, and here we are bearing everything to each other. But maybe the feminine feels like she's bared, you know, everything at this point to him. She's gone to this route, and she mustn't feel like that. You know, she mustn't feel like embarrassed about it. You know, it's perfectly normal to bring sex into the equation when it comes to trying to reconnect with someone, because that is a way in which we can gauge if there is a deeper connection with somebody. And if this is a scenario where the masculine, he does kind of withdraw, the feminine has to be careful not to react in a resentful way. Because if you want to have any hope of keeping it going, if this is the case for couples this month, or people in that twin flame relationship, that deep soul connection, it's not going to be good, you know. It's just not good to carry that negative energy through to anything, any relationship with anybody, friendship, family, you know, partnership, anything. It's just not good. You have to let that energy go. And you know, maybe there's a third person. You know, if there is a third person, if you know there to be a third person already in the equation, and you're worried about that, this could indicate a feeling of jealousy. You know, I only say that because there are 3 pentacles. 3 is the number of, you know, just the number of 3 people, so it can indicate that. So I'm not saying that there is a third person involved to people. I'm just saying if you already know that there is, you know, it's going to be a very natural reaction to be jealous, and feeling that those kind of negative feelings. You know, just feminine. You just need to retain your dignity a little bit and not lower yourself to anyone else's level. You know, just remember, ladies, you are a queen, and you have everything you need already. You are regal, and you are on top of things, ladies. So don't worry. You know, you have everything you need. And again, I just wanna, you know, remind you of this card, the Strength card. This is you. I'm gonna put that over here with this queen, just for the purpose of that message for now, side by side. It's a powerful combination there. So yes, moving on, we have the Six of Cups here, crowning. And I always take this card to be getting in touch with our innocence and the innocence of love. It's a kind of remembrance and perhaps bringing up memories, good and bad, which is, you know, important in a relationship. You need to kind of go back and reevaluate things and work out what went wrong, what you know, what you need to move on from. I do feel, and with this card coming out, there has been I'm just sorry, I don't know if I showed you the card then. I'm just going to show it to you now. It's a very beautiful card. I was just saying, I don't know if there has been a reunion for some twin flame relationships. Maybe you went away for a while, had a break, and then you've come back, and now you're in a stage where you're trying to reconnect with each other. I think that card's quite indicative of that, and it's important to remember where you started with your journey in love. I feel like there's been some sort of chronic dissatisfaction, like a dissatisfaction that's been going on for a long time. I'm not sure why. Maybe if something did happen, something, you know, in terms of infidelity happened before, the feminine may not have gone over this, and now she kind of has this. She's so happy that things are back. You know, she feels so good about. She feels good about things being, you know, back. She feels good that things are being given another chance by the masculine, but she's moving too fast. She's making too many plans. She's kind of putting too much pressure on things, and this is how he's responding to that, and it's not a positive way. So yeah, you know, I think that the first stage of love is very childlike and playful, and this card reminds us to remember how that felt. You know, feminine, you didn't know where this was going in the beginning, and you were okay with that when you first met this person. Just remember how you felt. You know, you were okay with letting things pan out in their natural way and taking their natural time, and that's what the masculine responded positively to. You know, not this. You kind of need to work with your inner child, I would say. You know, children don't perceive things that aren't there. They don't obsess about what could be or what's going to be. You know, they can't. You know, they just see something for what it is and they're just joyful for it, whatever it is. So try to remember that, and stop working so hard to make things exactly the way you want them, and don't be upset if they're not, because there's still an offering of love, you know, from the masculine. And that's what's most important. And just remember that, you know, life is even more beautiful with love in it. Um, this is a very joyful card, and you should really allow yourself that joy in partnership with each other. Um, we come to the root of the reading, which is the Nine of Wands here. And as you can see, here's an individual that's been battered and bruised a little bit, and kind of feeling very defensive, and hiding from something, hiding from someone perhaps, hiding from things. There's a lot of uncertainty here. There is a need, like I said, to kind of defend or hide from whatever it is you're struggling through this twin flame partnership, whether that's your own feelings and emotions, or perhaps you have things you feel you just can't say or communicate. Again, here's the emotional insecurity. I feel like, you know, the relationship has some band-aids on it. If you've reconnected recently, it's all about working through the pains from before, and, you know, the growing pains, basically. Um, Again, reference to the children there in the card. So yeah, I feel like for some of you this has been ongoing for some time now, and there are some wounds that you're still trying to heal from, and I feel like also, you know, so many of you are so close to having what you want, but there's something at the last minute which kind of prevents that. And in this case, I really just believe it's yourself, if that makes any sense. That insecurity that you bring is really killing things. You know, it's going to kill things if you allow it to.